Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive critical eye. Part 2!
That's right. And on this second part of our 2019 episode, we want to let you all know that we decided to make this a little bit of a drinking game.
This part 2.
We should let you know that part 1 was also a drinking game, which means that our drinking game has now been going on for almost 2 hours, despite the fact that you just pushed play on this. So we're feeling real good here. And to let you know the rules, because we love movies and we love propping movies up. We don't want to try to chop them down like your stuffy critics out there. No disrespect, critics. You do a valiant service until you tank movies that are good and audiences love because you're in a bad mood that day. So anytime we say anything negative about each other or critics or movies, you're going to hear this sound. That sound means that we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
So pour yourselves a glass and let's talk about Disney Animated's Fifth Element film, Frozen 2 Multipass.
Jesus.
Is that in light of Elemental having come out recently this year?
No, dude. Like,
Dave,
okay.
by the way, Dave, that's one of my notes, my show notes. I was like, is this the Fifth Element?
Yeah, right?
When she was looking at that, it was like a parchment or something, and it had all the, and she's like, yeah, the Fifth Element.
Okay, we got a Fifth Element joke, we got an Elemental joke. What a way to start our Frozen 2 episode here.
All right,
John's
buzzers
laughing.
are reset. We're going in. I should point out, though, we are
Buzzers
talking
are
about
reset.
Frozen.
Okay.
Buzzers are reset. Yeah, we don't count the first one because that's a demo buzzer.
Wait, we actually can get our buzzers going here because we actually have an award. We've been handing these out recently.
Okay, that was not an invitation. Jesus.
So in our first episode of 2019, where we talked about all the films that were made in 2019, how much money Disney made that year. We were going to be talking about a Disney movie this year, but Disney Studios made Avengers Endgame, which came out that year. And they also came out with Captain Marvel and Aladdin and Lion King and a whole bunch of other things that...
Rise of Skywalker.
Unbelievable. So anyway...
By the way, do you guys lose
Palpatine
faith
lives.
do you guys lose faith in humanity when you read those movies and you're like, geez, these were the highest grossing films?
No, I had a great time.
I was there the whole time. Anyway, we do have a winner of the fewest buzzers from that episode. Meaning somebody was boring as fuck. John, you win! You had the fewest buzzes talking about Ad Astra in 2019. So John, we toast to you. Get your drink
I
up.
blame the connection.
Because last time we talked about Frozen 1. I'm driving a U-Haul while I'm listening to you guys talk about a movie musical that I literally taught to children. I taught these songs to kids. And here you are talking
God, I'm
about
so
it.
sorry.
That's for parents everywhere.
Yeah.
By the way, I did teach 2 of these Frozen 2 songs to kids. Actually 3. Oh, the bubble.
Oh, no.
For my YouTube. We have a YouTube channel,
Jesus
people. Please follow our socials. My fucking Zoom. They do this weird shit.
Jeff
nowadays.
just did
There you
balloon
go.
magic.
So anyway, I've taught 3 of these songs from Frozen 2 as well. But anyway, I was not there. Our guest, who we're going to introduce in a second here, is. But John decided to take over hosting duties this episode. And he said the word fuck so many times before talking about this movie. He was like, fucking guys, we're going to fucking talk about this fucking movie. We're going to let's fucking talk about fucking Frozen. And then all of a sudden you're like, by the way, I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. You guys just talked about how much you loved this movie.
See, that was the thing. That was the Shyamalan twist. Because for a while, this held the record for the most buzzers in an episode. But the funny thing is, 18 minutes in, this happens.
Did you guys find yourself laughing at the jokes? Because for me, I did. I thought the jokes worked
I
really
have
well.
no skull. Or bones.
That was like-
yeah.
To be
there's-
I don't know
All
about
right,
you guys.
Hold
I'm
on.
assuming it's similar.
I'm just going to stop so we can
John
set the
looks like
tone
he's
for
at a
this episode.
military
I
academy.
fucking love this.
Yes,
I
thank you,
had
Dave.
such a great time with this.
Thank you, Dave.
It was amazing.
Like I started off, I thought I was gonna fucking hate it because I everything that I encountered with this movie, it's like just annoying, stupid kids singing the theme over and over again. I was like, I'm
The
gonna hate
theme.
this
No,
movie.
buzzing you for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Wow.
John, you'll never be that clean
like
shaven ever
that
again.
was like 20 minutes in, and we'd already bumped up, almost equaled the record for previous buzzers before then.
Well, in
So, yeah,
case you
if you-
guys missed our Ad Astra episode, we are returning to Frozen, the series, with our guest co-host from Frozen 1, which
Who did that?
Just said had the record for the most buzzes until he beat his own record when we talked about Conan the Barbarian. Mark Monstroski from the Mark and Matt movie show. Fuck, I did it again. The Matt and Mark movie show. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be back, fellas. I'm sufficiently buzzed. That's for sure.
What do you
Yeah.
drinking?
I mean, at least
Right.
you're still conscious, unlike with the Conan the Barbarian episode.
My eyes are like partially closed now.
Yeah,
My
since-
skin is red.
What's funny is maybe some dads like at birthday parties are drunk talking about how Frozen's actually awesome, but like we none of us have kids, and here we are talking about the Frozen series. So what are you drinking? And go ahead and plug the Mark and Matt movie show.
Oh yeah, so the Matt and Mark movie show is sort of Matt created to kind of let us still interact even though we had moved to different locations, so we get to watch a movie and talk about it, because that used to be our favorite part of the week when we both lived in New York City. We would just go see a movie and hang out and talk about it. So now we got to do it on Zoom and people get to watch it. And we also have a Patreon and a TikTok and a bunch of other stuff. But if you go to our Instagram page, you'll see all our social links there. So check us out if you can.
Yeah,
You guys
And we're
are
on YouTube too.
are very funny.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are our favorite. So we listen to you all the time. So
Oh,
we're
there's
big fans.
There's some beef back
And-
and forth. We've had beef and everything. It's been fun.
yeah.
Well, we don't always have I think we rarely have crossover in our taste, which is why it's funny that sometimes it does work, like at Astra.
Like, you know why they're great? Because when you guys wouldn't do the fucking Free Guy movie, I went over there and talked about it. So
Dave, God, you're rock hard for that.
we do
movie,
the
dude.
trashy movies.
Dave is still hard for Free Guy. It's true.
I mean, oh,
notice
boy.
I didn't buzz
That's a
anyone
good
for that.
movie.
All right, people.
I won't buzz you,
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah.
I agree with you.
You can't buzz when it's true.
Oh, I could gush. I could do the gush though.
I don't know if you should
That's
do the
a-
gush after
a
Rock
rock
Hard.
fucking
Gush.
flows. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so I decided to make an executive decision since I was not at the first movie. So we're not going to. So if you guys follow the podcast, we usually do gripes or mini reviews where we talk about movies that have come out spoiler free for a couple minutes. But then we're sticking with this series, Movies of the Year. We've already talked a lot about 2019. We teased it here at the beginning, but you have to go back and listen to our Ad Astra episode about this. I kind of want to get back right into the Frozen series, unless anybody has any news or gripes that you want to get to specifically about this. Dave also gripes about Marvel, which is technically owned by Disney, similar property. We could also talk about how that's a Dave buzz. Bob Iger, quote unquote, flubbed and accidentally leaked that there's going to be a Frozen 4. This is not a guy that makes errors. So that was definitely intentional. That motherfucker is so goddamn smart. And he just he had just come off of his earnings thing where he talked about how Q4 lost money, but in a good way. So anyway.
I mean, of course they're going to make a fourth one, right?
Well,
It's
so
like,
here's the
how
thing.
is that a secret?
Well, the third one hasn't come out yet.
Well, our
Yeah, I
co-host
know, but like they do that shit all the time. It's like, hey, we greenlit like 5 other John Wick movies. It's
Yeah.
like, they can
Well,
probably do it these Frozen movies, too.
Disney is very famous about their brand matters more than anything else. So for instance, on Broadway, if the audience response they believe is less than stellar, they'll just take the show off Broadway even if it's making a ton of money, which is hilarious because I don't know anybody that likes Aladdin on Broadway. It just fucking keeps going. But The Lion King obviously is doing well, but Newsies was still making money and they were like, get it out. Like, we're worried about it slipping. Frozen though, because like there's no Moana 2. Right? There's no Inside Out 2. They're not going to try to do that.
There is an Inside Out 2. There's no Moana 2. They're making a live action Moana instead.
Yeah, they do the live action.
I can't even
Inside
say
Out 2
Moana.
is a
I can't.
porno.
Yeah,
That's what I want to see.
I can't say
wanna see-
Moana right now.
Okay. Anyway, they do the live action, which I guess is their way of doing sequels.
But no, Inside Out
Here
2
are
is
the
definitely
numbers.
happening.
The tomato meter for this movie is a 77, which I think is, in response to Frozen 1, it's fine. It's a solid number. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
'cause
audience
there's a lot
Frozen 1 was what though?
is higher. And then the audience number was 92. But here are the numbers. Frozen 1 made $1.27 billion, which is fine because I didn't even know this thing was coming. I didn't know it was due out. I had no idea it was coming. All of a sudden, people were like, I like Frozen. I was like, what is that? Like,
Now, all of a sudden, people walking down the street going, let it go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
$400 million domestic. Frozen 2 made $1.45 billion. 1.45
Wow, what a
billion.
piece of shit.
Sorry. Frozen 2 made $1.45 billion.
God damn.
Only a third of which was domestic. So how can you blame Disney? I mean, this is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. It's like in the top 20. Frozen 2. So if they can make, even though the Olaf's fucking whatever that shit was terrible, like they're going to keep making...
Oh yeah. Damn it. You beat me to the bus.
Anyway,
John, aren't you glad you're on another Frozen episode?
Oh my God, you guys.
John, we haven't
what
talked
am I
about
doing here?
John, we haven't talked about our sponsors, who you may know, Dazeem, who likes the Matt and Mark movie show better than us. But do you
Thanks.
remember what you loved about Frozen? Because you're sitting here like, why did they make a Frozen 2? But you love Frozen. So what was it about Frozen 1 that caught you off in a good way? I don't know if I phrased that correctly, but I'm drinking.
I don't remember recording that episode. What else did we talk about?
We talked about. There was a lot of it was gibberish, but no, it was the writing. Again, he brought up the jokes.
No. I mean, what other
The animation, the writing.
The animation came up a lot.
Was there another movie we discussed? Like that was another like multi-movie episode?
No, that was just Frozen 2.
Oh, wow.
Just
Frozen 1.
Frozen 1. sorry,
Dave
yeah,
is
Frozen
living
1.
in the future.
Oh man. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I think I remember I think I remember saying that I actually did, laugh more than I thought I would. The songs are in Frozen 1. The songs are undeniably catchy. And
Look at John backpedaling. You know you like it, goddammit. Stop pretending you don't like it. I'm gonna buzz you now.
I guess I did like the first one.
Oh, Jesus.
There's John again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
The tomato meter of the first one was 90, and the audience score was 85. So for what it's worth, the audience
Why do
score's
that many
higher for
fucking
Frozen
kids
2.
have access to Rotten Tomatoes?
Dave. Anyway.
I stand by it.
Okay, Dave and Mark, do you wanna highlight some of the reasons that you guys liked the first movie, or at least you seem to be surprised, all of
No,
you, that
you know
liked
what?
the movie as much as you
I
did.
feel like if you want to know why we liked the first movie, go back and listen to that episode. It's easy to find.
Nice
It's called
plug,
Frozen. I'm not going to do your work for you. I
definitely liked it, by the way, because of like the humor. Animation was good. The music was fun. It was a fun movie. I admit it. I had fun watching it. So
yeah,
Great.
one song
only
aside, it
recollection
was
of it.
very pleasant.
Loved it. All right, so we're back with Frozen 2. This movie, as we talked about, made a lot of money, and this came out in November of 2019 on the anniversary of the JFK assassination, which is oddly suspicious.
Disney killed JFK.
Canal.
I saw this movie in theaters. Did you guys see this in theaters, or was it just me?
What a fucking
no.
thing to put next to.
Definitely just you. Jesus
There was
Christ.
nothing else in 2019 you could have picked.
As a single guy, I cannot go to this movie solo.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
I went to the fucking. I went to Super Mario Brothers
Thank you,
opening
John.
Thursday night because I had to do it on the Mark and Matt movie show. I had to talk about it that weekend. I was by myself, so you know what?
Mario's different though. This is an entirely different beast. Mario's gonna be like people our age going there. That's like expected. But Frozen or Frozen 2?
Mark doesn't want to be that guy with the full-grown adult with a ponytail.
Mark also has he also has a tendency to wear trench coats.
I
to
don't
the
know if
movies,
for that,
so-
John.
Part of the ponytail with the trench coat. Oh my god!
Just
People are gonna
no
call
clothing underneath.
in immediately. Please, that's Mark.
Shit.
By the way, Kristoff and Ryder are gonna bone in this movie, right? It's gonna. Okay, so
they are really into each other in this movie.
everybody keeps talking about the Elsa eye fucking going on in this scene, but Kristoff and Ryder, they just needs. I think he needs to stop trying to propose to Anna. He needs some time to figure that out. He needs to.
He should get with that moose. They
really-
whatever the fuck that thing is. I'm so drunk. I called it a moose. Reindeer.
There's a whole,
Jeez.
there are songs about these reindeer in this movie, Mark.
By the way, when
Drink.
that fucking reindeer started singing, I was like, Jesus Christ, seriously? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so here
yeah,
we go,
dude.
guys.
Yeah.
Frozen 2. Here's the pitch. We'll talk about it in a second. I'm sure we will also just get ready to talk about whether or not you liked it as much or more than Frozen 1, which I'm sorry, that's just what you do with these sequels. It's just the truth. You do compare them to each other. So in Frozen 2, IMDb description, and then we're going to send it off to you guys. What'd you think? What'd you feel? Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven leave Arendelle to travel to an ancient, autumn-bound forest of an enchanted land. They set out to find the origin of Elsa's powers in order to save their kingdom. That's the pitch. And also, of course, the real thing that was highlighted in the marketing of this movie is we get to the bottom of Elsa's powers in a way the first movie did. And so they did have that one little thing where they said, actually, we have an in for a sequel. We know Elsa learns like how to deal with her powers and such, which was great for kids, but explaining it didn't matter for the first movie. But in the second movie, they decided to try to find a way of talking about Elsa's powers. So that was in the pitch. Who just fucking burped through that intro? You got out of your goddamn mind, Mark? I'm trying to set up a movie.
You guys have me drinking so much shit. I'm fucked up.
You
now.
barely passed John and I from our fucking.
I'm half Chinese. That means like, do I get buzzed for being? I get buzzed. You racist bastards! I get buzzed for being half Chinese.
Come on, we're talking about Disney. They have sweatshops in China. You can't do this, man.
Jesus. Oh my god! I'm getting.
By the way,
I'm getting so
like
many
that?
emails
By the way,
and text
do you
messages.
guys-
in the morning.
China.
Wait. Do you guys,
China.
Can you just cut this and this and this and this?
wait, do you guys like the fact that this whole movie was about how like pretty much how bad it's like Western culture is terrible for the indigenous people and they destroy everything, and then meanwhile Disney wants to have their own kingdom with their own laws.
We did not talk about the taxation of.
We can talk about the socialization of Disney all day if we want to.
All right.
Yeah.
Who would like to go first?
This film was about transition, the kind you can mention in the southern states.
Ooh. Okay.
Did
Jeff,
you?
I wanna- wait. A precursor. 'cause
Yeah, you thought
asked
you were the
us.
worst.
Jeff, do you like Frozen 1, Jeff?
I do like Frozen 1. I just don't think it balls with the Disney movies of our childhood. I think the point.
Yeah, balls in childhood, not a good. Come on.
You just talked about wearing a trench coat with no clothes to Frozen, and then you're making a balls in childhood joke. Okay, anyway, I think the Frozen series, I think that it's great. I really like their stories. I think one thing that the earlier Disney movies do is that all of the songs advance something, and I think some of the Frozen songs are just hype songs. Like a WWE fighter who you know is going to fight this person, but it's also a really long walk from the locker room. So they just play the music to heighten their entrance up and get the crowd excited. I think Frozen does this a little bit too much. And I think that in every single song in all of the Disney movies from 1989 until 2000, every single song advances the story more than the Frozen stories. That's what I think.
One of my notes for the music is the singing is basically someone screaming at you.
For some of them, I mean, like, look, I really think First Time in Forever, Build a Snowman, Let It Go, I really do think these songs advance the story in a way that only a musical can. Otherwise, it's just, you have to do it in some other abstract filmmaking way. But music it seems to be a great medium, because that's what a musical is. It's a medium. It's a style, yes, but it's also a medium to be able to bend space and time to get points across differently, whether it's thematic or plot or whatever. And I do think that certain songs do. And then there's certain songs where they're like, well, shit, we need a Sven song here. And then it's like, okay, but it doesn't really move things forward. So it kind of sinks. You know, I do think these movies do that a little bit too much. And they also spoon feed us things that I don't think the old movies did. But that's what I think. I still think they're great. But it's kind of like how I always say, How I Met Your Mother is amazing. But any character on How I Met Your Mother would be the 7th best Friends character. I'm gushing. That's what
I've heard you say that.
Okay.
Nice. Well, you got
Hilarious, I know.
I mean, Mark, Dave, what do you think?
As soon as you mentioned How I Met Your Mother, my finger was on the fucking buzzer. I'm like, I'm loaded, you
Look,
son of a bitch.
I love all of the characters in How I Met Your Mother. Their characters are ranked 7 through 11 on my list of the best characters of Friends and How I Met Your Mother.
No, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not taking that.
I mean, Jeff, God damn it, we're all fucking each other's names. Oh no. The one thing I hate.
I was.
Mark. Yeah, go.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
go,
after
go.
you, Dave.
No, go.
No, after you, Dave.
No,
I'm just
I'll
gonna
wait.
say something asinine anyway.
I know, but and go and do it. Do it.
I was gonna say this fucking movie just. God damn it.
The people want to know what we think, and they're never going to know.
The thing that I mainly hated about this goddamn movie was it just reminded me of fucking death so much. I was like, Jesus Christ,
dude.
Do we really need to know we're gonna fucking die? It's like I deal with that shit every goddamn day. My stupid brain's like, hey, do you know you're gonna die? You better accomplish some shit. And then I watch a fucking movie and they're like, hey, do you know you're gonna fucking die? You
Wow.
piece of garbage human being. And I'm just like, I don't want. And also, if this is a kids movie, why the fuck would you take your kids to a movie and then have to explain to them death afterwards? It's
Well,
I think
no,
it's
you don't
too-
have to.
I
The
don't know.
TV
Too
just
big of-
did.
Lion King. I mean, look,
I know that's the thing with Disney. They're always like trying to do this death shit, and it's like, hey, maybe I just want to be entertained and not think of death when I'm in the fucking theater.
They've been blowing Bambi's mum's head off since the 70s.
I know that.
Come on.
That's why it's so fucking annoying. It's like, can you guys do something else other than death? There's like
Isn't there a
cool
line at the
shit
beginning
happening
of
in
this
life.
about that?
Don't you think it's about how life is precious?
Yeah, but they're always like, I'm gonna die, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I think you got exactly what Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee were going for as directors of this film.
I will say,
So you didn't like the movie, Mark, just to clarify.
I mean, you know what? It felt like an amalgamation of all these different movies that I had already seen. So it didn't, like, the first one felt new and fresh and it was fun. This one, like, the jokes fell flat. The music wasn't that great. Some of the story beats, like, didn't make sense to me. Whatever, fuck, I'll just keep drinking. Buzz away, motherfuckers! I'm ready for you. Ah, shit! But anyway, the movie just felt like... And the other thing is, like, things happen so easily. I also forget that I this is a kid's movie, so maybe I'm shitting on it for no reason. But, like...
Dads watch it too, so do moms, so do aunts and uncles.
I went to pee for a short period of time, and then all of a sudden, What's-Her-Face was free. And I was like, what the
You
fuck
didn't press
happened?
pause?
Nah, I don't give a shit. Fuck this movie.
You're watching this by yourself.
I know. I was fast forwarding through some of the songs just because I
not
don't
like
want
you're
my
in the
neighbors to
theater.
know I was watching this.
You're fast forwarding
that's
through it.
funny.
Dude, you don't have to say
Jesus.
this out loud. Guys, so you're saying you watched the sing-along
Some of the
version,
music was
right?
just like,
You watched the
you know,
sing-along
I-
version with the Santa
what?
Clauses ads. The Santa Clauses. They're literally pilling them as the Santa Clauses.
What is
Dave, did you like
On
this
Disney
movie?
Plus?
I have a couple of things to say before I go down that path.
What's it?
I
What,
was
positive
made.
first?
I was made to watch this in another room.
We're throwing your wife subliminally into this.
She has already seen it, and she was not going to sit through it again.
Okay.
I will point out, although, when you search Disney Plus for Frozen, 12 things come up.
Yeah,
There's
a
only
lot.
two
It was one of them,
movies.
like,
Frozen
There's
Fever,
two movies.
right?
Yeah, like there's another thing called Wild, a Frozen Tale. I'm like, fucking hell, man. They're really like milking the hell of this. But you know, what the hell?
Disney
So I hit-
Junior really went off the rails with this.
Yeah, I hit play, and it's like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I actually enjoyed this a lot more than I probably should have.
Oh yeah.
The first song is literally the film's call to action, a plot outline, and a steaming pile of foreboding all in one. Like, what do you even call that?
It's
Like,
good. I wish
it
the melody was
accomplishes
better, but you're right.
everything.
You're
Yeah.
100% right. Yeah.
And the one thing I did
What's
like,
the first song?
It's the lullaby thing. The mom sings, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the river
Yeah.
lullaby thing?
yeah,
Okay.
it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's like the fucking
yeah.
first verse of Stairway, except the lullaby isn't it. The melody isn't as good.
All is found.
This
Right?
is.
All is found.
I also like
Wait,
this.
I think
this
Jeff
was-
should be buzzed for that. Hold on. Let my drunk ass buzz him.
Yeah, make sure you
Oh,
hit the right
shit,
button.
I gotta reload. Oh, there you go.
There you go. All right. I felt like
He has
this
access
was,
to the buzzers.
I felt like he does. I set him up. I felt like this was staged more like
on
an
the show
actual
too much.
musical
Okay.
than the previous one.
I agree with that, Dave.
Both in like structure and staging. And I remember one grievance I had with the first one when we did that episode was I fucking hated Olaf because he was playing it differently to the other characters. This
first
time,
movie, or-
yeah, in the
really?
first movie, yeah, he was playing it
Okay.
for comedy. Everyone else was playing it for drama, and I didn't like it.
Comic
It was
relief,
like
Dave.
grating. This time,
That's his point.
yeah, this time everyone had their little quirks and their little fun things, and Olaf blended a lot more. Dude, the Frozen recap by Olaf, when he quickly has to recap what happened in the first movie, is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I
It was
agree.
comedy gold.
Great cinematography in there too. And I will
Yeah.
say it also matters that Frozen 1 was such a sensation that I feel like it would be cheap in other circumstances, but when you go to the theater and there's kids, and honestly the kids' younger siblings are now going to the movie, you have to so anybody out there was like, I can't believe they're doing this. Sorry to cut you off, Dave, but I do feel like it's important to know when this came out. This is 6 years after the first
6
Frozen.
years, yeah.
So like I think they had to do that. And I think they did it well.
This movie took 75 animators 4 years to make.
Whew. Damn.
It's a lot of pictures.
I guess I shouldn't have pooped on it so quickly.
Yeah, you don't care about their hard work and labor, Mark.
Damn.
Sorry, Dave, to cut you off.
I was admitting to a wrong.
But Dave, keep
I give a
going.
fuck.
Keep going, because like Olaf's, for instance, he stopped telling jokes about halfway through the movie. He wasn't funny anymore. So what?
Yeah,
what
then he got fucking endgamed.
Murdered.
No, he got fucking Thanos. Thanos fucking snapped him out of existence. It's like near the end of this movie.
Yeah, but somebody can snap
That
him
was
right
so
back.
unnecessary. By the way,
It was.
because everyone fucking knew he was a merch tool, so he's coming back.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair.
It's
that's
a
fair
merch
observation.
tool. Yeah,
But
you're not
I
gonna kill
will
Baby
say-
Yoda in season 2. Fucking merch tool.
Oh god.
I just
Yeah.
farted. All right, let's go. Keep going.
I do love with these films, and they are still doing it. Even like Pixar started. I think Pixar started doing it. Disney Animation is doing it as well. Like there's little character quirks they add, and you can tell it's like the animators kind of threw that in. They went, "Yeah, that's funny," because like they're allowed to contribute to a certain amount. I feel like some of the stuff in like the opening song when they're walking through the town, and it's like you get like the guy with the painting the tree. And someone comes up and cuts the fucking tree down, and he hasn't finished his painting, and then they get in a fight. I'm like, that is something a fucking animator suggested or just made,
Right.
and they were like, yeah, keep that in. But I love when they give like the animators that
The
level
tree
of
had a
creative
boner. and they
freedom.
kept- Sorry.
The rest of anything I would say would be geeking out of its fucking tech in this. I did really enjoy the storyline, even though you're right. Like well, as I said earlier, it's very Fifth Element, and like there's no big surprises in the story, really.
It's also kind of, doesn't it feel like half a story because it ends with her going to that fucking island? So it's not even really a complete movie.
No, I feel like they got where they needed to go for this one.
Yeah.
Like
Mark Kaufman.
this was about her finding the source of her power and establishing the source of her power and stuff like that. And I feel like they got where they needed to go for that. Like it's
we'll
not
go back to Ata
kids are
Holland
gonna
at some point.
yeah kids. We're coming back in part 3. Kids are gonna tune out if you try and like cram too much in there.
John?
You know they're gonna get up and go and piss without pressing pause and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John? They're going to watch the sing-along version with the Santa Clauses commercial at the beginning. John?
There are definitely some undeniable like dopamine hits, like the visuals and the there's some good music resolves that like were undeniable, where like I felt some good feelings like happen when they wanted me to feel like really moved, but I didn't. It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't really get me. I wasn't like super excited to watch this. I'm being honest. Like
Yeah, we know. We got the text
We
messages.
know. You don't have to be honest with us.
yeah. Well, I was going into it like Mark, just so you know, like I really didn't want to have you back on to do this episode because I did not want to watch Frozen 2. Like they've asked me for months, and I just kept being like, I don't want to do that though. Like let's have one for something else. Like I do not want to watch this movie.
Conan, yes. This, absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely.
2019 did get randomly generated, which was your idea. So you did this to yourself, motherfucker. You wanted the random year generator. It pulled 2019.
I know. Okay. So
I love watching John struggle to say
Frozen 2 is
To
my
say
petty
something
revenge
positive.
it's my petty revenge for the random year generator.
Yeah, Jeff, I think most of it is what you were saying, which I still think that's true for a lot of songs in Frozen 1, but look, I am not hating on contemporary music theater, but even when I was immersed in that world of music theater, I was a Sondheim snob. I thought that pop music theater was going into something that was much more hypey. Let's just hear our voices sing. Isn't it fun to sing? And let's sing as high as we can possibly sing. Than it was
That's
about like recitative and storytelling, and songs really being character driven and not so pop chorus driven. And I think that like I had no fun listening to any of this music. If I'm being totally honest, like you can buzz me.
Not even
We
into the
will.
unknown.
Didn't this movie feel like it was trying to recapture the glory of the first one, but then like face planted I'll buzz myself.
But not
with
even.
that.
I'm
No, I got
surprised.
you.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm surprised Into the Unknown didn't get you because it happens early in this movie. It happened early. I was surprised that Elsa's Big Number
Maybe.
happened early.
this might sound kind of weird too, but like Idina Menzel has a voice that I've never really liked very much. Like it's just
No,
an
that's
instrument. She's a good singer,
not too
and I just don't. It's just never really been something.
Fuck, just buzz me.
That's not too crazy. Mark missed.
It's something I've never really responded to in the same way I think a lot of other people do. But this one I've noticed really specifically, like I just didn't buy that voice was coming out of like a woman who's supposed to be that age and look like that. And I know she's like not a real character, but like it just didn't look right.
Get in trouble.
No, I was getting the feeling that they were supposed to be like 20,
Yeah.
21. Like they're still supposed to be like young princesses.
Yeah, college.
And Kristen Bell just has a higher. I know I don't want to get into the weeds there, but I did not buy it coming out of her mouth. But it doesn't matter. I don't care about that. No, I didn't like any of the music, and I think that was probably like I don't know if you could possibly like this movie and not like any of the music. So like every
Fair.
time somebody started singing, I just felt like I was about to watch another, as you say, like hype song, and then it just kept happening. Like every now and then there were some moments where again, like even though I stand by what I said, I wasn't enjoying it, I still felt the dopamine rushes. Sometimes it would line up and undeniably with the visuals be a really powerful moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's also undeniable that like this story and all these stories seem to be about like her power and like the power within. And of course, sometimes it worked. And there were moments where you're just really moved by her eliciting that power and recognizing it. And when her sister helps her find it, and look, they're still there. But I just thought that this was, let me put it this way. I think, and I still think, it's not like I watch animated films all the time, but I still think the movies from the second golden age of Disney, Muppet movies, the first golden age of Disney, some of Donald Bluth films when he's at his best, there are like two levels to those films. Children can enjoy them and adults can find a maturity in them. And this movie is lacking the latter for me. I feel like there's a lot of like dumbed down storytelling, and it almost feels like it's aimed at like a very silly 4 to 7 year old range of child. And I'm sure that's probably more like 10 or 11 year old range.
I feel like this. I feel like this was specifically aimed at the kids who saw and loved Frozen 1. Now they're just a tad older.
I think it's for their kid, their younger
but
siblings. That's what I think.
But all right, don't you think that those kids? And I know this is magic. And like I was already like kind of like over this by the time we got here. But like this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. When she finally, when that dam breaks, spoiler. But when the dam breaks,
spoiler.
I was like, I didn't care anymore. But the dam broke, and like all this water is rushing, and it's gorgeous.
You didn't care about all the people that have died as a result.
I felt.
Well, hold on. They don't fucking die, do they?
No.
Because here comes Elphaba. Not Elphaba, what the fuck is her name?
Close enough.
Elsa.
Close enough, but
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
the same fucking character. Yeah. Here comes the same character.
Elphasa.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
She comes out, and like this is exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
She rides her magic sea unicorn, and it's like undeniably moving. You know it's going to happen. You know she's going to come back to life. I was still moved. She gets to the front of the break of the wave. I was still moved. She puts up the ice block, and I was like, wow, this is like, I don't care, and this is like so cheap, and I'm not enjoying it, but I'm moved. It's succeeding. And then the water doesn't exist physically. That really, really, really bothered me.
But it didn't flood
Where
the
the
Arendelle?
fuck did the water go? Yes, where did it had to go somewhere?
Also, those
And I
people
mean,
were
just
all
like,
the
there were
creatures
things-
The
living
ocean,
underground.
Also, those people were just chilling in the cold
so
for like a week.
That bothered you, but the fact that Elsa gets the power of ice and Anna gets the power of domestic terrorism, like didn't.
Domestic terrorism is a
Elsa had the power of ice. Dave, okay. I'm with you, John. Here's what I'll say to go off of that. I would say
Lost in the Woods is one of the worst songs ever written
it's
by
true.
Disney.
Well, and here's why. This is the Kristoff song. It was John. Tell me, John, you're gonna relate to this. I said this to Angela, and she laughed. That song was supposed to be an '80s rock ballad, but it was actually a musical theater song that was winking at the '80s so hard that it was so obviously written for musical theater majors to sing for their parents at Parents' Weekend.
Which is, and Jeff, if I had to, you tell me, but like if I had to diagnose what is happening with contemporary music theater, it's that. It's almost like they're playing.
It's not
for
an
laughs
80s
to
song.
each other.
It was a musical theater song that only musical theater people like. Whereas the first musical, at least it was able to transcend genre. Like they didn't have the genre of what, First Time in Forever and all of those songs, Reindeer Are Better Than People, all those songs, Anyway, this movie
you guys keep talking. I'm gonna run off and pee, and then we're.
I have to pee too. This is so funny. Dave, get the fuck out of here.
About graphics.
Dave's not gonna hear my. Okay, this movie should have been better than Frozen 1. I'm gonna say it again. This movie should have been better than the first Frozen movie. I think. Why am I getting buzzed for that? The setup to me was really good, with the exception of the fact that the mom's song, the melody, wasn't the right set of notes. Again, it could have been the first verse of Stairway. Instead, it was like a lot of good words. And it was like the melody couldn't find its way. And then all of a sudden it modulated the key. It went from minor to major. And then it was like, but we didn't establish what the minor key was. The minor key melody never established. And then we're in the major all of a sudden. It was like, it wasn't exactly Somewhere by the Beatles, which all of a sudden it was like the perfect modulation. And now we're in the major key. No, it wasn't that. It was, no, okay. Anyway,
I wish I knew about music theory.
I think I'm glad Dave's gone, so Mark is just here blurry and just ready to buzz. This is great. I think Into the Unknown is the best song in the Frozen 2 movies because it's really hard to pull off a plot in which the main character causes the problem and then has to solve it. And I know the first Frozen movie sort of does that, but also the plot is sort of inevitable at the same time. And so, because there's an ice shortage where they sell ice for a living, it's a really difficult plot. There's not an ice shortage. Anyway, whatever. It's so cold in a place that makes their money exporting ice. And apparently
that's relieving. Sorry.
Dave, I'm still in my setup. Dave's back.
Okay.
So anyway, I think the big plot hole of Frozen 1 is the stones. I don't think they talk about enough. And also, they're mad that it's cold, even though their number one living is exporting ice. It seems like it's a good thing.
Frozen.
It's the opposite of global warming. They should love when it's freezing because they can sell ice more. It's like, anyway. In this movie, they write that wrong in a weird way where it's like, yeah, like it's inevitable that the elements are gonna we know that eventually, but at the same time, Elsa also has to think it's her fault. And I think Into the Unknown, where she can't fight this little feeling, I think the way she starts out with the speak singing, I can hear you, but I don't. I think it starts out really well. And then it bursts into the unknown from the Dies Irae, like the death comes to life. Also, it's her mom who's dead. Dies Irae is a death theme from Requiems. It's like, it's brilliant, Into the Unknown. And then the song ends with the elements falling down and then everything erupts and it's Elsa's fault and she needs to solve it. And I think they figured that out well, and that's a tough problem to have. And that, I think, is the last song that begins and ends differently. None of the other songs begin and end differently. So we already talked about that. I think the Olaf song is really fun, and I think Olaf's really funny, but it's also just kind of calling awareness to what's already going on. So the song itself is probably it's either too early or it's not necessary enough, except to be fun and funny. Yeah, I think Show Yourself is the song.
That Olaf song had a feel of an Act 2 opener.
Show Yourself, to jump ahead a little bit, because I'm just trying to make a grand point, then we can talk more about this. Show Yourself, the Elsa song, where she's finally there. She's already there. We don't need her to sing about how she's excited to be there. She's already there. And so she's sitting there, show yourself. And it's like, yeah, that's why you went there. You went there to find this thing. And then it's like, okay, I guess she needs to say show yourself. And then now the spirit will show itself because she says show yourself. That's usually a song.
Mark will stand up in his trench coat.
That is usually written for the musical. Okay. They usually add that song for the musical where it's like, okay, we have a perfect 90 minutes, but we need to add an hour. Okay, show yourself. Here's another song. Great. We didn't need that song. But I think the real problem here, and we can unpack this over time, because again, I think this movie should have been better than Frozen 1. I think there's good stuff in there.
I think it should have been more complex than Frozen 1.
That's it. The two big reasons are...
It really dumbed it down.
The plot, okay.
Even though the audience is older, it still dumbed it down.
Let me to finish my point, not just to keep talking about the songs. The parents are the parents in Dune. The dad is the general with the legacy and the family history that's connected to the earth and the legacy of the land. And the mom is Magic, who's from this other ethereal tribe. And then that's why Elsa has her powers. And that's brilliant. That is so good. That's so good.
It's also
the
Aquaman.
parents barely matter in this movie. They get thrown off to the side, and I know that they're the fifth element. I know that's all that kind of shit, but at the same time, it's not. It's mostly about two sisters bumbling around in the woods. You know what I mean? It's like it's not quite enough.
That's the tag.
But I think the real I think
bumbling in the woods.
the real problem with this movie.
So is the witch.
The real problem with this movie is that it's so Elsa-centric that it has the Stranger Things problem in that Eleven's powers are so good. And they at least make Dusty go to space camp so that he can hack the Russians, which is ridiculous, but at least it gives him a purpose. But it's like Will doesn't have a purpose. Mike doesn't have a purpose. They don't have a purpose anymore. So it's like, what the fuck is the point? We have to drum up storylines just to make them relevant. Kristoff proposing to Anna and Anna running away because she keeps trying to figure out what her purpose is. She becomes the queen. We have this through line the whole time. She is the heiress here. Elsa's powers aren't important to ruling the land. We have we have Anna the whole time. She's a leader. She is empathetic. Her empathy is what brings everybody together. No, they fucked that up because they're so fucking obsessed with Elsa and her powers that Anna just becomes somebody running away from Kristoff and running towards her sister being like, give me a job. Your job is to become the fucking future queen because you're the heir of these two amazing people and Elsa's powers make her unworthy. And they fuck it up and then they just all of a sudden make her the queen and it's like, okay, but they missed the through line. I feel like they yada yada her way to the queen and I think that could have made this movie better than Frozen 1. That's what I think.
Didn't Elsa feel almost like a side character? I felt like she wasn't like, or
You know,
the whatever
Anna?
the one with the frozen powers are.
Yeah, that's Elsa.
The one with the powers, whatever. I don't remember. I'm drunk.
Okay, no, but this is a good point because
shit. Now I'm gonna be more drunk.
no, because what it does is it means that these other things they're talking about are just less important than Elsa's, who they throw off to the side anyway. So the things we're watching aren't as important as the fact that the Ice Princess is the only one that can save us, and they're throwing her off to the side. They're trying so hard to make this plot work, and they just can't figure it out.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with
A
you,
lot
man.
of
I
it
think
felt shoehorned.
I think it's definitely a little bit of the Superman issue. Like, I don't think Elsa learned anything about herself internally in this one that she didn't learn in the first one. Just like it really was more external. Like she is the fifth element, and like I guess that gave her some peace. But I don't think she learned anything about herself she didn't know. I did like the song "The Next Right Thing" when Kristen Bell kind of like goes from her rock bottom to her realizing I kind of like the messaging there, but
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah,
I know you. You don't like songs where somebody says, "Here is where I am, and there is where I need to be." You don't love songs that you do that usually. Why is this the one that you like?
I thought the first chorus she didn't state it at the beginning of the verse in the beginning. She didn't state that all I can do is until she got to like the second verse or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was just trying to find something to enjoy.
I liked it. How long did I blacked out. How long did I talk about not liking this movie? Because I like this movie. I just blacked out.
It was about 42 minutes.
It came off like you. Yeah. I think it came off like you liked it. You made it clear that you thought that there was a lot of potential for this to be
Olaf
better
was
than
so
it ended
funny.
up
Why
being.
did they tell him he can't be funny anymore? He was so funny in the first like 30 minutes. You were older and thus all knowing. I mean, come on, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they decide he can't be
Yeah.
funny anymore?
I do want to just
yeah,
quickly,
yeah,
because we
yeah.
touched a lot on the story, but not a lot on the technical achievements. But like I pointed out, it was 75 animators over 4 years. It took them 8 months just to get the water horse right.
Yeah,
That's
Lord,
8
the
months
Lord of
of
the
work
Rings
for
horse
this.
that just arrives out of nowhere. Yeah, that's great.
The beach scene where she's facing the waves, the scene where they show the waves breaking, they actually had to turn the simulation down.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was to the point you made in our Frozen episode, John.
AI
where
is too powerful.
It was like, no, it was the simulation looked too real. So they turned the settings
wow.
down to make it look more cartoony. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
It's not often
pretty
you have to
cool.
turn your
Uncanny
settings
Valley kind of
down.
thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was just the achievement of like the costuming, the wet shaders. Oh my god, the wet material shaders. Like as someone who's tried to create shaders and by no means on the level of those guys, just the fact that you could identify when material was wet because it fell in a different way, like little things like that, I appreciated for the tech. They contribute to the movie when they contribute to the movie when you like appreciate it for its technological value. It doesn't necessarily contribute to the story or anything like that. So if there's problems in the story, none of this is going to work. But
Jeff kind of made a good point. I think I am. I don't know, Mark. You said you felt like Elsa was kind of like a side character, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember the actual like beat to beat plot of the first one, but I think I remember enough about her, like kind of finding it's okay that she has her powers and that there's nothing wrong with her and stuff.
well, that's okay. I'll have summed up the beat to beat plot in the second movie.
Okay, I do wonder if this would have been more enjoyable for me if Anna had really been the protagonist the whole time, as opposed to kind of like their equal parts, two-hander, or maybe even that Elsa still gets a lot of limelight and it turns out to be, Anna really gets some focus, because there's just something about your lead character or one of your lead characters being all powerful that is just incredibly not compelling to me. And I think that really swept the world, because they did a good job in the first one of like, this female character finding her power within, hurting people with it, and then realizing power, responsibility. I'm not going to do that. I want to embrace my family and love myself and not kill everybody. But for this one, I don't know. I did kind of turn into one of those things where like, I'm just never going to be as interested in the character that is flawless externally. And I don't know. I mean, for me, Jeff, when she got, and I know I'm not a 7-year-old, so I don't expect that a kid would have watched this differently. Of course they would have. I think I would have watched it differently if I was with a child. But by the time she got to the end of Into the Unknown and she hit all the elements, I could have turned the movie off because I knew what it was about.
But I don't know. I still think there was more to discover. And I like the Fifth Element idea. Did you guys like the idea? Did you guys like the Fifth Element idea?
I was like,
it's a fucking rehash.
I was like, come on.
We've seen this before.
But it's still confusing, because is the Fifth Element her? Is it her mom? Is it the bridge between dead and living? I feel like
I guess we'll find out in the third movie.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I would have liked it's like, Jeff, that's what I'm saying. It's not really a complete story because it feels like
no.
I
did like the. We're all talking. I'm going to push against this very hard. I think this is another one of the spoon feeding, not maturity kind of stories. I was convinced that they were going to rescue themselves from this very mediocre, predictable tale by her not being the Fifth Element, because it was so foreshadowed. And that it was not going to be, you have complete control, because that's what they gave her at the end of this. She's an absolute power, absolute control.
Like Napoleon, which we talked about in the first part.
Or the Emperor in Star Wars.
All right. I thought they were going to bait and switch us. And I was like, this is, I'm waiting for it to happen, but this is actually going to be good.
I love a bait and
the
switch.
All-powerful person is actually not all-powerful. And she's going to have to learn to yield to the fact that she doesn't have control over her reality.
Anna being the king. Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was Anna.
No, they don't do that.
I'll agree.
Thought it would be Anna as the Fifth Element, to like throw a monkey wrench into things.
I will agree.
And then in the next movie, they're both powerful and they can team up and do shit together.
If Anna has powers or not.
Yeah.
Wait, so what were you saying, John, to finish it out? What was the... Wait, hold on, really quick, to clarify. What was the end of the bait and switch? You thought they were going to switch it to what?
I thought we were going to have the entire sequence, basically, when she gets to that glacier.
Yeah.
And we were going to get all the way up to where she was going to literally be, like, inside the four elements. And I was like... And right at that moment, they were going to somehow pull the rug out, and she was not going to be the Fifth Element. And there was going to be some thing now in her life that was more powerful than her, that she would have to yield to. And it was going to be a story about even the most powerful people don't have complete control over their life. And that's why we need help from our friends and our family. But they didn't.
I want to see John's version of the movie.
Yeah, no, it's true, though.
That actually is really cool.
I mean, they did exactly what was foreshadowed from the beginning with no surprise. Again, this is like another good example. I was still moved, even though I was like, I didn't know Elsa could do that when she like sent up her magic power and it formed a sculpture for Anna. Whatever.
That's cool.
But let's get past that.
That was new.
I was still
They hinted
moved.
at it.
Okay. I was still moved by that.
Water
part.
is
So even though I was
memory.
frustrated story-wise, even though I was frustrated by the story, I was moved by that part. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that they missed a gigantic opportunity to teach children that nobody is all powerful. even if the most powerful need help from their friends, just like Marvel and DC try to do all the time with their most powerful superheroes, it's fucking bullshit. Superman can throw a continent into the universe, and Elsa can fucking kill everybody she comes in contact with. So
I used to say this when I taught
because she's
movies.
the fifth element. I'm the third heat.
We used to do environments.
Tracy Morgan.
I'm the eldest boy. They used to say, the kids would be like, oh, like, hey, we're in a frozen environment. They'd be like, I'm Elsa. I'm like, you're Elsa? Yeah, she has powers. And I was like, what about Anna? Oh, what about Anna? And it's like, she has friends. These kids, they all wanted to be Elsa. And I was like, don't you want a friend, though? You know what I mean? It's cool to have a friend.
No.
And they couldn't even give
friendship.
Elsa like her lover. Like, she was right there. Come on, we know. Us adults, we know.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? It feels like they give Anna a lot, and they give Elsa just like, you're alone and you have powers.
But they gave her this person.
And
They're
it's
like,
kinda
you know that we have to get through the censorship in China.
The same
so.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure where Jeff's going
Sorry,
with
I said
that.
that to Mark. I mean, they were eye fucking each other. Come on, you come on. It's not. This is not just me saying this now. This is common knowledge.
Wait, are you talking about the sisters?
No, the girl making the fire in the fucking one of the Northoldral people was like, hey, I think you should go up north if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink.
Or you can go down south too.
Christ.
By the way, I agree with John. A lot of the movie felt like so predictable. It was like the setups.
I will
basically
absolutely give you that
what
point.
The future
I will
point was,
give you
would
that
be.
point.
You know what it
So
was?
it's predictable as
like,
fuck.
Like even
You know
the
what my
whole. By the
favorite
way,
part
even the
was?
whole thing with the dam, and then her family being actually her grandfather building this dam as a total bullshit reason to like fuck over like the native populace. It's like that was so predictable.
I mean,
you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, straight up. Like as soon as they go, well, we don't know what caused it. Us bitter old fucks are going, yeah, he caused it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. By the
Like-
way, you can't use that as an excuse, by the way, because these kids are not going to these fucking movies by themselves. There's no way some 7-year-old's gonna be like, can I get a ticket and go? Fucking parents have to be there. It's like you have to make the movie for both of them.
Incidentally,
You can't have
I'd
the
like-
parents sitting there
Commercials.
like,
I'd like to-
"What kind of
Commercials,
garbage?"
diaper commercials aren't for the kids. They're for the fucking moms.
I'd like
This
to
is
apologize
history.
to all the 7-year-olds listening to our podcast. They're very bad fucking men.
Wait, I
All
really,
of them.
I really,
We just
I
said-
really want to
we-
apologize to all the
You have to,
7-year-olds
by the way,
listening to our podcast too.
I mean, by the way, also kids understand complexity, so to assume
I was
that
just
all
about
these
to say
kids
that.
are
Ding,
just
ding,
as
ding,
fucking
ding, ding.
dumb.
And apparently
Right?
your parents don't
I
I
love
know
you.
a lot of
Say-
kids that are a lot more mature than some adults I interact with. So, let them be intelligent and
off.
figure shit out.
Go off.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just about to say that we
Sorry.
didn't. I know we just did our Ad Astra episode, and I think Mark, you made the point that it was so refreshing that he felt like he trusted the audience. They trusted the audience, and nothing was super predictable or explained. And again, like that's based off a really, really wonderful, structured story that has worked really well in a lot of adaptations. But this is that maturity thing I was talking about. I know it's not fair maybe to compare it to the Hamlet structure of Lion King, like a really amazing other story that
This
has
is not
proved that it
quite
can be
Hamlet.
adapted.
It's so close.
But Hans Christian Andersen is no fucking slouch, and I
True.
bet you they scurved some corners in his story to make it more what they thought was accessible to children, and I don't think that worked. And here I'm going to use this. I'm going to use that movie, this movie's expression against what we're talking about. My favorite part of this movie, what I do think they did well, and they didn't over-explain, that was pure discovery, for me anyway, was the elements. I thought they did a good job of introducing the
too.
elements.
What do you think of Lizzie the
creating
Lizard?
mystery of the
Merchandisable
elements,
characters, yes.
and then we
When they got
slowly
molested by the leaves?
discover, Yeah,
I think that's
honestly, yeah.
I think that's
Gail.
good.
That was a funny
Also,
joke,
to
yeah.
anybody who's listening to this and is like really interested in this, you guys, you have to listen to Show Yourself and then listen to Sarah Bareilles' song Between the Lines. It's in the same key, and the first 4 measures are fucking identical. So I hope they paid Sarah Bareilles well, Disney, to do this, because it's they ripped that song off. I just want everybody to know that. And I completely agree. Going back to the elements, the little fire lizard we haven't mentioned yet, but apparently he's going to be an important plot point moving forward. But it's like, it's all there. I'm going to go back to my initial thesis. This should have been better than Frozen 1. It was all there. And you know what? Some people were going to be as moved, if not more moved than Frozen 1. Because even though Frozen 1, I love the idea that true love can be a sister's love. That's true, but you earn that over time. And even when it happens, it's kind of like, thank God it's not Kristoff. You know what I mean? It's not even like, oh, yes, it's sister's love. It's like, fucking thank God it's not Kristoff. Not Kristoff, sorry. Not Hans. In this, it's like, I just wish... The conceit of the first movie is that true love can be more than just man and woman. That's really what this whole thing comes down to, is that the familial bond is way more interesting than lovers bond. In all Disney movies, and which is basically representative of all children's stories, it's all about man and woman. What happens if the guy sucks? Right.
By the way, that's the problem with this movie. It became more generic because it's like, oh, now we're just going to do the traditional love story. And it's like, let me go back to my initial point, which I know I rambled on about forever. Kristoff's whole storyline is trying to propose to Anna. And yes, he has a couple rescuing moments, which is really interesting. But the whole thing is about proposing to Anna. And this whole premise of the Frozen series where true love is not about romantic love. And then you have one of your top 3 characters, and his whole purpose in this movie is to try to propose to one of the two sisters. It seems weird.
As someone who's had the proposal disaster, I want to say.
Wait!
I feel like that was.
Tell us more about
shit!
We went to your wedding. I was at your wedding. It was
oh my god! The proposal
wedding.
was such a fucking disaster because I basically convinced her to go to Europe, because 5 years before she'd I posted about this bookstore, the Librarian.
So she didn't want to go. She didn't want to rewatch Frozen 2, but she wants her proposal to be aired in our Frozen 2 episode.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So basically, she's like, I'm either gonna die or be proposed to in this store. So I was like, all right, let's. You know what?
Dave buzzed her.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take her there, and I'll kill her. And So basically, I took it to what I thought was a small backwoods, backstreet, bookstore, and in Portugal, it wasn't. It was a major fucking tourist attraction. I had to buy a ticket to my own engagement, and I went in. And I'm like, I'm going to go down the stacks and, I'm not going to do this publicly because, I've seen what that happens. Because all my friends, when I said I was going to do it, all of my friends showed me fucking those YouTube videos with all the guys that did it publicly and got rejected. Ooh. And I'm like, well, fuck this shit. I'm not doing that because, I'm cured. And so I was going to go in the stacks. But as it turns out, when I walked in there, you can only go in the stacks if you're going to spend 10 grand on that's where they keep all the first editions.
10 grand.
So I'm stuck in this room full of fucking tourists, and it was a total disaster. I'm trying to get her attention. She's
then
the
you asked them
bookstore.
all
She
to
loves
sing
books.
the Northaldral song from this movie.
Anyway, it took me 3 goes to blurt this out. So I got that gag. Let's just say, it made me feel a little sick inside, to be honest. But I feel like that one was for all the dads. That whole story.
I want to come back here. Dave, what you're saying, thank you for telling us your story. And I'm sorry that John and I were not the friends that you called and asked if this proposal is going well or not. I'm sorry that we were not the two of the people. At the same time.
No, you weren't. You'd fuck with me like crazy.
We fucking would. I would have had such a good time because then I'd be in the story forever. Of course, you know us. But at the same time, exactly. It's like, yes, that's exactly right. And it is true. But is this Elsa's story? Is it Anna's story? Is it Kristoff's story? It's too muddled. Then it's like, what's the point of this movie?
Well, no, they split the threads up. That's why these things work. When you split the thread, the only thing is, I at one point I was thinking, are they going to get back to this proposal storyline? Because I'm like, they haven't dealt with that in a long time. But also, it disappeared for such a long time. It could have
been, and I think it would have been if they just set the course that Anna was starting to accept the fact that she was going to be the queen. That when Elsa disappeared, Mark, back to your... this is so great. I'm playing the greatest hits. I'm going backwards. I love this. Mark, Elsa was sidelined. Exactly. And Anna is right there in the fucking middle. And Anna could have sat there and said, well, Elsa's gone, but don't worry, people. I am also the daughter of someone who brought the Northaldral, I don't know these people, the Northaldral and the Arendelle people together. And so I will be in the middle and come here. And then all of a sudden she earned her keep. You know what I mean? I feel like, and then all of a sudden later we find out that she actually was one of the Bene Gesserit. That's a Dune reference.
Is that a Dune reference, right?
Did the water not bother you guys?
No, the water didn't bother us, John. What did bother me is what bothered me was that it was a grocery list movie where all of a sudden they were like,
in the fucking sea.
By the way,
The whole
there's
kingdom borders on the sea.
By the way, there's Earth giants who aren't exactly the same as the Earth that fucked you up in the first place. But there's big Earth giant people who should never be in the South. Oh my God, they're in the South. Don't worry about them. Oh my God, you found them. Oh my God, there they are. Like those
Everything
kinds of
happens
things
so easily in this movie. It's like, oh, here's the solution. I just resurrect these or wake up these like big giants.
Right.
They smash the dam. Problem
Domestic
solved.
terrorism. Yeah.
Domestic terrorism.
But the other thing, you know what? It's hard to say.
Domestic
I mean,
terrorism.
it was an entertaining movie, and it does look good technically.
Yes.
However, I have to say though, because I didn't just watch this movie, I've seen Pixar movies, I've seen the Shrek series, where they handle a lot of these topics, and they do it, and they can make it a movie that's for adults and kids simultaneously. And this movie doesn't do it. This movie just feels like it's just for kids.
I should say this again though, because people are going to listen to this podcast who were moved. There are people who are moved by Olaf's death. There are people who are moved by Anna bumbling around the forest.
Yeah, but you know he's going to come back
engagement.
immediately, so it has no impact. You know what I mean?
There are people.
Crap.
There are people who are moved watching this, and their movement is validated.
Yeah, I had a bowel movement. No, I'm sorry. Oh, man.
I'm
sure children.
There are moments that there are so many moments in this.
Wait.
I think this is the big thing with the first movies that are in this movie is different. There are so many moments that are moving in this movie. Me too. Even Olaf's death is moving, even though by the time like all of a sudden they're like he's not allowed to be funny anymore. Well, I don't even.
I feel
know
like
who this
Peter
person
Parker
is,
did it better
because I feel like if I'm dying, I'm gonna crack a joke. I'm gonna crack a joke. If
Did
I'm
you
dying.
buzz yourself?
Yeah.
Dave?
If I'm dying in your arms, guys,
I deserve
I'm gonna crack a joke. Olaf was not allowed to tell it. So there's things like that. But it is moving. It's all there.
Jeff,
all the pieces.
Jeff, if you're dying in my arms, my hands are around your fucking neck.
Oh my God.
I'm just dying in your arms tonight.
John, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
That got really dark.
Mark, welcome back to the show.
I was gonna say, here's another barometer for what makes a good kids movie. Could you
This
have
is
this
the time.
played?
This is the time to tell everyone. Sorry, go ahead, John.
Could you have this movie on repeat in your living room because your children are obsessed
No.
with it? Be annoyed because it's just not that good and the songs aren't that great, or have it on repeat and be one of those parents who's like, oh God, they play it all the fucking time, but at least it's a great movie. You know, like the songs are really good. You know, like you would probably say for, you know, a lot of the Golden Age stuff, or a Pixar movie that's on repeat and it's annoying, but my God, the characters are funny and it's easy to watch just because it all fits together so well.
More people say that than not. I bet you more parents wash the dishes. Well, I don't know how to say that. Oh, rain just fucking smashed. I don't know if you can hear that because Dave has a good filter. Dave's a really good engineer. I think
Can't
more
take out the
people,
drunk in your voice right now.
I think more people than not are gonna say that was a good movie because they're in the middle of washing the dishes and they yada yada all the scenes in between. That's what I think.
Yeah, and of course, you know, I mean, we're gonna put this caveat out here, like, of course, this is extremely impressive. Like, you know, a lot of time and a lot of money and really, 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 really talented people worked on this for a very, very long time.
But by the way, can I say, guys, have you seen? You've probably seen better animation though.
I don't know.
Carry on,
I
John.
don't watch a lot of animated movies anymore. No, I was just gonna say, you know, I think because of that, though, I don't know. You know, we tend to expect the most, you know, the best, the premier storytelling, and you hear about companies like Disney and Brain Trust at Pixar and stuff, and just like how they seem to, unlike a lot of the other live action development production companies, and like the culture of development in live action, these animated houses they put a lot of stock into it. They're really, really good at developing their product and not greenlighting stuff because they're able, just the nature of animating. You develop, you change your script, you do gentle storyboarding or you know, some kind of animatics, and you basically are able to watch your movie before you really put all your labor into it. They have this like luxury of being able to do that if you have the money. They have the money, they have the time. So I think that's the only reason why, when we know that you have the ability, unlike live action, you're not really rolling the dice in the same way. We expect you to be almost fucking perfect.
Like the low res renders.
Well, if you're going to charge everyone
animatics.
close to $30, you better make a goddamn good movie. Seriously. You're demanding 2 hours of people's life, not including the commute time. I want a fucking good movie, not some middle of the road shit. If you're the top of your game, you're the biggest studio, you got all this fucking money. I don't want to see some generic shit that I've seen before rehashed. I want to see something new. I better be good, because you're wasting my life if it sucks.
Mark, I think you and I are in the minority, though. I feel like I've heard when all this shit was happening and Frozen was coming out, and I just don't watch animation very much anymore, especially like child's animation. I'm not judging it. I just don't do it. But I hear people who talk about these movies all the time, and I thought I heard that a lot of people actually liked this one more than the first one.
I did.
I thought that was what I was kind of hearing.
I did. I'm not as invested in the musicality of it, so that was a bonus for me. I thought the story built nicely. I enjoyed this more than the first one.
Let me put it this way.
That's wild to hear, but I get it at the same time.
If I was on a desert island and all I had were these two movies, I don't think I would be like, oh,
I would kill myself.
I don't think I would. I think they're entertaining. I think there's still a lot to have fun with and enjoy. But when you do have, like, when we do know what can be achieved, really, really excellent.
When a boat turns up with the
stories aimed at
Criterion
children.
Collection.
You know what the problem is? I saw Ad Astra first and then watched this movie. And I was like, here's a mature, great movie that deals with things that I'm going through and other people are experiencing, and you're learning something new and it's positive. This was a movie that was like, I'm sorry, it's half a movie because it doesn't conclude really, because she goes off to where? I don't want to be thinking about that shit. I want a full movie. Listen,
you're really mad about her riding off.
Just think about it. Think about it this way.
Stop. We're never going to be on top of this episode.
Wait. For any movie though that just ends like that, your audience is sitting through tons of ads. They've driven there. They may have a shitty audience. I want the best fucking movie on the screen, because that's what these people are there for. You're at the top of your game to make good shit. Like, why are we getting mediocre stuff?
Wait. Hold on, wait. We didn't talk about this, but she becomes Elsa the White.
Yes.
Doesn't she?
Yes.
What a racist.
Yeah, she really does. Like, comes back from death like Gandalf. And like, it's like a new Elsa.
Yeah.
Like, her new dress and her new hair.
That's true. That is nothing new.
And transforms the horse too.
So hold on, wait.
The unicorn
this might be
horse
kind of
thing?
This is bringing me to a point. In Tolkien's letters to C.S. Lewis, when they're debating like the power and pros and cons basically of secondary world storytelling, fantasy storytelling. And I think there might be something here that by setting her up as such a strong protagonist in the first one, and then like kind of being forced to still have her have a lot of coverage, I think what's so exciting about Lord of the Rings is that the magical characters end up being further and further and further in the background as the story progresses. It starts to become, it's not about the magic. You can't rely on that. You can only rely on the magic of fellowship and like coming together. And I'm not saying they don't do this, but there's a little bit of like, I kind of wish they would have gone full bore, and we maybe would have not seen what she did inside that glacier. Like,
by the way,
away from it.
Tolkien also developed his own language though, and he also made sure that the hobbits, when they were walking, could only go certain distances because he designed the maps and knew. This movie did nothing of that, and there's no attention to that type of detail.
I'm just saying maybe she should have been more of a sage, a wizard, than a protagonist. I don't know.
I feel like we can wrap this up, and it's 3-1 against.
Everybody go watch Frozen 2 and tell us what you think.
I saw this with someone who was very moved by the movie, and I was almost as well. So like, it's like you're gashing me.
I should never
Into the Unknown.
This puzzle.
Into the Unknown is so good. I think Into the Unknown is so good. I think Into the Unknown sets this movie up to be better than Frozen 1. That's what I think.
I cannot stand the chorus to that song, Jeff. That
it's
place where every girl in music theater wants to just scream somewhere between C
but
and
that doesn't mean that somebody who's good at it won't make it amazing, you know? Come on.
And by the way, that Panic at the Disco version that came on with the credits, that guy is
Brandon
fucking,
Urie.
that is the highest.
He's good, right? I've seen him live. He does backflips and shit. He's short. He usually gets shirtless. He does backflips, and then you forget he's 5'4" afterwards. It's really wild. He's great.
This is crazy.
Brandon
it's a
Urie.
very high song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I just want to point. We're up to
Frozen
like
2.
the end of Frozen 2.
Yeah.
And every single person has more buzzers than me.
I'm so drunk.
Every,
shut
like,
up.
Damn.
I have the lowest.
Yeah, shut up, Dave. Shut up, Dave. Shut up, Dave.
Okay, so
Love hearing about you proposing to your wife.
Mark. Jesus Christ, Jeff.
My wife.
Yeah. How can you go fuck yourself? Let me count the ways.
I literally mentioned her at Thanksgiving, and here I am, like taking a drink because of this.
Oh my goodness.
I also want to say Mark's episode of Conan the Barbarian, where he managed to rack up the most buzzers ever held on our show, was a total of 55. We just hit 81.
What?
55. That's it. That's all
I
we
am
did?
so sorry, film fans. That must be terrible to listen to.
No, trust me, the buzzer is back. The buzzer is back in the mix.
I'm sorry
Oh
that
my
we
God.
postponed our What You've Been Watching to this.
Jeff has
episode.
alcohol poisoning.
I think I do. I'm about to call my
I need to eat some
significant other.
pasta.
And I should just apologize and say,
I need a
please
meat
don't judge
pie and some peas
anything
and
I'm about
curry.
to say. Enough of Frozen 2, people. We talked about it for a fucking hour. It's time to move on. Frozen 2 next week on the podcast. We're talking because we're doing the random year generator. People, we're talking about the year 2007, which is one of the best movie years of all time. We'll talk more about
Holy
that
shit, he
year.
got that right. Okay, somebody else
we
go.
used to have in our apartment when Dave, John, and I lived together a giant poster of Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood right above our couch. But we're not talking about There Will Be Blood, which came out in 2007, or
Nope.
La Vie en Rose, or No Country
La Vie
for
en
Old
Rose.
Men, or Atonement,
I'm gonna have to edit
or-
this out anyway.
or Into the Wild, or any of these other movies that came out.
I
in
have to pee
2007.
again.
We were
Someone else
talking
go
about.
first.
No, Dave, come on! That's two P's in the same episode. He's our
wait, I'm gonna
engineer.
join
He just
Dave.
gave me the
I'll be
middle
right-
finger. Are you fucking kidding me? We lost everybody. We're talking about Zodiac, David Fincher's Zodiac. That's right. I can only imagine how many takes he made to get this movie. We're talking about Zodiac next week, 2007. Can't wait to talk about it. John, we have reached that final
been
segment of our episode.
All
We're
right,
talking about
I've
what
been
you've been
waiting
watching.
to talk to you.
What
I
you've been
watched-
watching? You can tell me. Mark and Matt will
I-
listen to it on the re-listen
Yeah, they don't have.
as
They
will
don't have
Dave.
to listen. They don't have to listen.
Okay, they won't.
I watched The Crown. I caught up and watched all 4 episodes.
Do you agree with me? Shut up.
Mark is listening. Yeah. I totally agree. That shows. I love that show.
The paparazzi
I
shit
thought
fucks
they
you up,
did
right?
Which one?
The paparazzi.
I mean, yeah, they did a really, really, really good job. And actually, when you were describing it, it kind of put a technical expectation in my mind of a lot more like really, really tight, like claustrophobic camera work. And it wasn't that. It still created the sensation that you're talking about. It feels very visceral. You feel what,
I'm not
what
in
they're
film
going
school,
through.
so you know. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I just thought it was great that they achieved that differently than kind of what was in my mind going into it. And it's all, about her for sure. And what I thought was I really enjoyed this. And I could see some people saying, oh, but it's not really as much about the Queen and the crown. But I thought they did such a lovely turn at the very end, basically in the last episode and peppered throughout, where you really see the Queen in her own very stuffy royal British way struggling with the fact that she just doesn't like Diana.
Yeah.
She just doesn't like her. That really great line. One would almost feel sorry for her if one didn't feel such. I can't remember what the actual line is, but she's basically saying it's almost a shame. Like I almost feel bad for her if she didn't have it coming, kind of thing. Like if there wasn't like this contempt, and then to see her, I could see a lot of people just these aberrations might not work for people. Whatever. I get that. I still thought that it lended itself to some really good drama, and especially that moment with the Queen. But mostly it really had nothing to do with me seeing the aberrations again. I just enjoyed that they found a way to find their landing zone back in the royal family.
Yeah.
And back in this drama that basically they kind of spent the whole last season really hammering out, aren't these people being one note about their refusal to like Diana? And then to go away from that and to come back to it at such a pivotal moment and to raise the stakes very specifically.
I don't know what Mark's laughing at, so John, finish up. But Mark's laughing.
No, John did this motion.
Watch us on YouTube.
Oh my God.
John made a masturbation motion.
Am I going like this? Yeah. Sure.
I'm an idiot. Sorry.
It's a royal family.
No. I don't know. I just thought it worked really well. So if anybody likes The Crown, if you don't like The Crown, then
one miss,
don't
though,
watch it and don't talk shit about it. But I think if you enjoyed it, you're going to enjoy this season a lot. I felt it.
I love the King Charles progression from season 3 till now way more than I enjoyed the real life progression of King Charles. But Diana passed the Balmoral test. So when Jonathan Pryce is poo-pooing her, I am like, but bro, you are the reason she's here. She passed the Balmoral test because of you. So that's the only miss in this season, is that Jonathan Pryce was basically like, she's not part of the royal family, and it's like.
And even
she
I'll
passed.
challenge
You are
that.
in Balmoral,
mind.
and you are now in Balmoral, and you are making it seem like you are not. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just to be really specific about that. It's not. I don't mind that he was wearing that face in front of the family, but I would have enjoyed if they had a private moment for him where he realized we're here because of me.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
She got me.
So
I got.
Yeah, like just a little bit of him. Like we all remember that scene. It was a great scene.
The fucking
one of their
killing the
only private
buck.
moments
It's the
together.
same thing with William killing. It's the same thing. And then Jonathan Pryce played it as if it didn't happen. And or maybe it was cut on the cutting room floor. There was something missing. There was something there, right?
Yeah.
That's the only
Anyway.
miss. Everything else is brilliant.
That's what I've been watching. How about you?
How about you
guys,
two
Dave?
fucking peers over there? Mark, why
Well,
are you
let's
laughing
see.
so much? We
I
usually
have
start
to,
with
like-
Dave, but you
I
fucked us
just
up.
wrecked now thanks to this show. Jesus Christ, I drank too much.
You're
Wait, what
welcome.
did I do?
You
I
came
gotta
to play.
see what I watch. I guess I'll recommend Napoleon.
We talked.
I
yeah.
liked Napoleon. I rewatched Barbie with my cousin. That was fun. And
Wait,
I don't know if you guys
rewatch
have
as
seen-
in rented, or is that out on digital now?
it's out on digital, yeah.
Streaming?
What-
But also,
streaming service.
yeah,
Huh.
you
I
can
didn't
get
know
on
that.
like Apple TV and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But also, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sorcerer.
Yeah.
I watched that movie
didn't
with
get
my
into that.
brother. Holy shit, that is an incredible movie. If you like Wages of Fear and you want a better movie than Wages of Fear, watch William
it's
Friedkin's
the
Sorcerer.
Billy Friedkin.
yeah,
the
it's
70.
fucking
yeah.
amazing. Holy shit,
Dude,
it's
I've
good.
heard it's great.
John, you got to see it. It's like
It came out the same like fucking month as Star Wars. That's why nobody.
Yeah.
it was like what?
I
Actually,
just
1977, I think. What an amazing year for movies.
I mean, crazy. I just heard Billy Friedkin basically say like, none of us could predict what
passed
was
away.
about to happen in the zeitgeist, and I just kind of refused to hear it. And my movie just tanked, and I never tried to make movies like they wanted me to make after that. My career kind of stopped.
Yeah. By the way, though, if you like
great.
physical effects, holy shit, you'll feel like, I don't know, I was on the edge of my seat because it's fucking terrifying. And it also, just from a filmmaking perspective, you're like, how the fuck did they make this? It's like all
Nice.
this shit
Good,
would be
good.
supplemented with CG now, and all that anxiety you would feel for these characters would just be out of the way because you would know there's an artifice to it. But because they're actually in the country, it's like torrential downpours, there's mud, they look miserable, their clothing's all fucked up and dirty. There's nothing to glamorize anything. Their origin stories are all fucked up. They're terrible people, but you get to see them work with each other and take care of each other. It's fucking awesome. You have to watch that immediately,
Nice.
John. And then you got to tell me what you think, because I think you'd really
Okay.
appreciate it as a physical effects and film guy, like actual
Nice.
film guy,
Mm-hmm.
Check that
Anything
shit
else?
out. No, that's it.
Dave.
Nice, dude. Dave?
I actually I caught Virtuosity.
Ooh.
Yeah, old
one's
film. Denzel Washington and a very, very fucking young overacting Russell Crowe.
Overacting, you say?
Oh my god, yeah, he has like 200 and something psychopaths
Virtuosity.
in his personality, and he becomes He's virtual, but he becomes real and goes on a murder spree. It's not one of the best films ever made, but it's very interesting watch. Just to see the difference between Russell Crowe's performance then and Russell Crowe's performance now. And also Denzel just brings it every fucking time. I also caught over Thanksgiving, we watched a very fun family Thanksgiving movie, The Raid 2. And last night when we got home from Thanksgiving back to the city, we sat down and we watched the new Doctor Who special Part 1, which is leading into the new season 1 of the brand new Doctor. That's now, all of those are now on Disney Plus. Like all the new stuff from now on Disney Plus is the distributor for Doctor Who in America. So I caught the first one. It was good fun and very interesting. And oh my God, people are going to be coming out crying woke like crazy, and they can go fuck themselves because anyone who cries woke never watched Doctor Who in their life.
Nice. Jeff?
Well, I talked about Napoleon in the last episode, and we talked about Ad Astra in the last episode as well. And so I haven't watched it other than that.
All right,
That's
very good.
It's Thanksgiving week. Like,
But
Well,
next week, I
to,
can't wait to talk about Zodiac, which I've already seen, but I can't wait to rewatch it with all of you. John, you want to give a thanks to somebody?
Very good. Are we giving thanks to
I
somebody?
thought you just said, oh, let's give a big thanks to...
I said, well, let's give a big thanks to our guest here.
Oh,
Fucking up your show.
Mark!
The Matt and Mark movie show. The trigger happy Mark Monstroski.
I maybe only did half of those though.
We should all go back.
no, I can tell who pushed their button how often.
Ah, shit.
I will say, recently, the Mark and Matt movie show have talked about a lot of good things. We talked about the Thanksgiving movie.
Mark and Matt movie show.
The Mark. Shut up, John, for mentioning I said that wrong.
Oh my god.
You talked about the Thanksgiving movie. You did a spoopy season where you talked about a lot of Halloween movies. It's been really fun listening to you guys for a long period of time, and I can't wait for you to come back. And I can't wait.
And we can't wait to have you guys on our show. So
Thanks for coming back and terrorizing John with Frozen 2.
That's right. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Thank you all
at
so
least
much.
Ad
Film
Astra
fans.
was awesome.
That's true.
Oh yeah, yes, exactly. It was worth it for that. Are we? I guess we'll meet here next year for Frozen 3. I have a feeling
If they
it'll be out
release
by
it.
then.
Can't wait. And
If they
congrats to the
release
SAG
it.
strike.
Oh, they're gonna release
I
it.
Yeah.
actually read the contract, and I think it's going to get voted yes. Even though it's not a perfect contract, but I think it's going to get voted yes.
I mean,
So
everybody
we're
knows
gonna
that.
be
It's
good for
never
3
a
years.
perfect contract.
Yeah, but people were worried for a minute there. But anyway, it's going to be great, and thank you all so much. We'll see you soon, film fans.